Good morning and Happy New Year from all of us here at the Maryland Jockey Club. I'm Naomi Tucker, joined as usual by Keith Fusel. Keith, happiest of New Year's.
Happiest of New Year's. I'm getting the phone, making sure we don't get interrupted during the show starting in the new year, 2022. Yeah, and it kind of ended with a bang here with the prices at Laurel Park yesterday. Hopefully you had some of those, some really big prices along the way. So a big day, but ready for a new year.
It was a big day indeed, full of prices. So yeah, hopefully the bettors took full advantage of that. But yeah, ready to get going here for the new year. We've got 2 days of live racing coming your way today, January the 1st, and of course tomorrow, January the 2nd, 12:25 p.m. post. And then we'll return after that next week again on the Thursday. So plenty of action to keep you going. But look, talking about prices yesterday, the Stronach 5, I'm pretty sure we blew it up in the first leg right here at Laurel Park with up against it. Louis Batista, Robin Graham just getting his nose in front of the number 5 Tate. I mean, that was quite a finish.
It was up against it, got in a little trouble too, was up with the pace, got in a little bit of a tight spot at the 5/16, so was able to work outward and resurgent to win 61-20 to kick things off in that Stronach 5. Look at that payout, $43,000. Huge.
There were 2 winning tickets, 43,000 on that final day of the year. How about that little bonus to start your 2022 with? We keep saying it, the Stronach 5, when you get it right, it pays out big time. Talking about betting, we do have the opportunity for a couple of points. Laurel Park, 10 points Sunday through December 26th through Saturday, January 1st. So ends today, the Christmas bonus season. You get 10 times the points on all Laurel Park wagers. So go to first.com/bet/promotions. As usual, place your wagers with ExpressBet and First Bet, our preferred wagering partners here at the Maryland Jockey Club. But let's have a look at the current track conditions. We are now coined as sloppy, 57 Fahrenheit. Look, you can tell we've had some moisture.
Yeah, rain, just a steady kind of a rain. Not the most pleasant of drives in this morning. But, we're going to be dealing with this sloppy track, sloppy and sealed right now. I don't really see it changing much throughout the card.
No, I think we're a little bit overcast. I was hoping the sun might come out and dry it out for us, but not 100% sure. But of course, we'll keep you abreast of anything changes. Let's start with this first race of 9 on the card here. Nickel Claim is number 3 lifetime for the females. Mile and 16, 2 turns. You and I landed on the same horse here. The number 2, Flowers of Fortune. She's gonna try to control this, and I actually think that she's helped by the fact that Unshakable You isn't running here. Because I thought Unshakable You would try and pressure her a little bit. It looks like Flowers Fortune might just get the run of things. Now, I know that you look at the Tomlinson numbers or the wet figure. She doesn't have the biggest one, but she has one on the off going.
She's one on the off going. I know Tim likes those Tomlinson numbers. I look at them. It's a good wake-up call if you're not familiar with some of the breeding. I mean, after doing this so long, you kind of get a pretty good idea of what works. But sometimes it'll fool you. Flowers Fortune, it looks like a race to the front, Naomi, between Flowers Fortune or Walking Out Nanny. I give the edge to the 2 to get to the front. The 4 just hasn't shown much off that little break. June to October might chase and fade. Who picks up the pieces? I think the 9, maybe Love Is Strong, certainly bred to handle her out of ground. A little improvement of late. So, I think if the 2 can kind of shake clear, relax early, should be able to take this field wide.
I think so as well. I use Glory March underneath. She kind of rallied against a similar group into a bit of a below average pace last time out. I hope for her sake it's going to be a touch more honest in here and she can try and make it work. Ran well on the off going not too long ago as well. So let's hope that she can continue. That day she actually came out of the clouds. I do believe that was at Charlestown coming from very, very far back. We know Charlestown is a tight track, so to be able to do that was pretty impressive. So I like her to kind of pick up a piece.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. She she looks like she likes Charlestown a little bit better, but she looks like the one in here that's kind of holding okay form, and the route seems to fit her. I think it's going to be okay. That wasn't that was a kind of a tougher version of a nickel up there last time out. So I think she's fine in here.
I like her as well. As we get going with race number 2, claiming 16 to 12,500. Norman is a 3 in their career. 7 furlongs distance. Look, The early pick forward just popped up already. There we are.
Yeah, there it is. $10. We're going to start the year out a little bit light. I thought this was a very difficult card. Hopefully we can get a couple singles. So we start at 14579. I think this is a real toss-up of a race. Race number 2, Naomi. I'm going to try to trim it down here. Race 3, a single with Maryland's a flyer. Race 4, I like the 3. John the Bear, scratch to go here. Race 5 will spread it out a little bit more. 3, 4, 6, and 9. Big price there on the 4. Miss Seductive, $10 ticket.
I like your ticket. I mean, I agree with race number 2 here being a wide open field. That was one of the first notes that I put on here. 7 furlongs the distance. Let's start with the runner that we have a video spotlight on. Look, I had him on and off in the end. I didn't have him on. He's your top selection in here. Muta Camel. Look, he actually gets checked earlier in the start. He had a lot left to do and really started coming out of the clouds there late. Quite a turn of foot.
Really did. I like this finish a lot. This was first time off the claim for Kieran McGee, who's been deadly year after year with these claims. Okay, goes to Charlestown after that. Maybe caught a little bit of a softer group, closing that slower pace and went away. I think the 7 furlongs works here. There's some chasing types in here that I don't know if really 7 furlongs is their distance. I think this horse holds form, just needs to steer clear of trouble early on.
Yeah, no, I actually kind of like him, but like I said, wide open field that I had him on and off. I definitely agree with you going quite deep in here. I ended landing on the Wolfman. This is a really interesting horse, I thought, because Phil Schoenthal, we all kind of thought he was going to be quite good, a good fourth in the heft, and then won that optional claimer and one other than, earlier in this year. Hasn't really shown himself in the best light since. I'm hoping that dropping down sort of quite steeply is gonna, freshen him back up.
It looks like he's got to do it on the front end. He gets a major assist with the scratch, right? The 3 is out of here. It's sizzling time. It was awfully quick for Valerie Smith. Wait another day for its sizzling time. But kind of a desperation move now it looks like for the Wolfman. But he clears on an off going, a surface that he doesn't mind. It looks like a win over that surface. Yeah. His top boss is pretty quick, too. He might force that issue, but we'll see if this class drop gets the Wolfman over time. Alpha Q has that speed going long. I don't know if he's quite as good sprinting, if he's going to be able to keep up with the 2.
No, this is a really interesting field. Actually, you have the 7. I had a look at him as well because he seems to really, is bred to enjoy the off-going and has ran his career best number on it as well. So if he's eligible to kind of take that next step forward again, I mean, he's been hanging about. He's been doing okay. Just needs to kind of get his nose in front again and really, get the job done. He's
going to have to be able to work out a trip, settle back, maybe save a little ground. Another 7 furlongs might push the limit. He's shown some good runs at 6. I think he was a little close last time and just kind of went flat. Maybe finds himself a little further back here, which might help his chances settle and make one run. And I think he'll have the jump on the 1. He's a little bit quicker, I think, early than Metacal.
Yeah, I'm hoping the visual artist from the outside for Jamie Ness can get a nice sort of stalking trip as well. Not 100% sure the 7 is his optimum distance, but I think he likes the off-going for a barn that, has been doing very, very well in 2021. So let's hope they make a good start to 2022 as well. Race number 3, maiden claimers, 40,000 to 32,000, 7 furlongs the distance. We do know that there's a couple in here that aren't in for the tag. Those Maryland breds can waive those claims, and one of them is the number 1, Mailman's a flyer, who he's done nothing but perform in his 2 starts to date. I'm not 100% sure 7 furlong is what he needs, but he's so fast early that he might be able to kind of just relax up front and see it out.
Agreed. He had some trouble in debut, and I thought it was a good run, closing in and gaining on a New York shipper that had run some big numbers in the past. But last time out, I'm wondering if he looks like he might have missed a work November 28th to December the 11th. Maybe just came up a little bit short. I thought he was going to be home in that field to be able to dictate. I'll give him another shot with a scratch of the 7 treasure tradition. I think he'll be comfortable. The flow will be to his liking. I think he can get the 7/8.
Yeah, I like Treasure Tradition as well, but unfortunately he won't be lining up here. Have some interest in number 5, Call It Love, who returns to the main track where he's actually had his best performances down. That was a touch longer, but look, he's shown the tactical ability to say that 7 furlongs wouldn't be beyond his reach at all.
Yeah, no, comes back to the dirt. Made a sharp move last time, 2 races back on the dirt. Thought he was calm. Another one just kind of fell flat late. But talk about breeding for the off track for the 1 and the 5. McLean's Music for the 1, Munnings for the 5, Spitestown in there. It's really some off track breeding for those 2.
Yeah, you use Astrology Star for your exacta as well. I thought it was really good effort over 6.5 furlongs last time out. Only got beaten by a length and a quarter. We know Peterson's Courage was very much due that maiden breaking score. So Liberty Star, I feel like he's been progressing with his last couple of starts, at least his last start for sure. Kind of turned the corner there.
Yeah, I expected more 2 races back. Good to see the bounce back last time. That looks like the real Liberty Star, what they've got. And I think he's going to break well, stalk, and move into it. Yeah, maybe it's a Lacey exacta here, right?
It might just be. Okay. We'll see how it works out. Race number 4 starts that Rainbow Pick 6. We have Callie creating a ticket for us. Let's quickly see how she plays it 4 deep here in race number 4, the 2, the 3, the 5, and the 6. And then in race number 5, 3 deep, 3, 6, and 12. She was a bit tighter in race number 6, that nickel non-3 live. She uses the 1. Danny deep cut, steep drop for him there, as well as the number 9, which is Captivating Gal for Jesus Rodriguez, who, is looking for an easier group here. I'm not sure she's found it, but interesting. Perhaps a little bit of a price play to use too. Race 7, 1, 2, 3, 4. Race 8, 1, 2, 5, and 7. Before she singles in the final race on the car on Mama's Cheese Wish for trainer Jerry Robb, who broke her maiden last time out and now comes back against a couple more seasons runners in here. But I really like her in that spot too, and I know you do, as well. So $57.60 ticket that starts here in race number 4, as we'll get a hold of what we're looking at here. 6 furlongs the distance, and we have a video spotlight on Grey Wing. I ended up liking him a fair bit in here for trainer Lacey Gaudet. Has an abundance of speed. You can see him there in between horses. He actually had an inside draw. Had enough speed, but Rammer, who you see that at 9, actually moved forward. Grey Wing takes back and then takes over later on. Ears pricked, just rolling along.
Like the way he relaxed. Exactly, Naomi. Off of that, let that other horse go. Thais Lipperson, a good job there. You see the hood on, right? I believe this horse might have the earmost. The blinkers came off, a little bit of the hood on, and really responded off of that break to widen eagerly here by 7 and change. Just kind of just nursed along into the stretch. Straight and true. You got to love it. That was a very good performance. Now right back. Going to face maybe a little bit more pressure up front. I go with John the Bear. I like John the Bear, this 3-horse the other day, in a tougher spot. I think there's a little bit softer spot, shorter field. Claudio first off the claim when he protects these horses like this. I had a stat like going into that allowance race, he was well over 30% with that kind of move up. And a really strong ROI. I think he brings the pressure early to these horses.
Yeah, I was very close between the two, but I feel like Grey Wing, after the 10-month layoff, to come back like that, I feel there's so much more to come there. So I'm kind of banking on that further development and improvement of this very lightly raced 4-year-old. But yes, you have to respect John the Bear. I thought it was interesting to see that, first time after the claim for Gonzalez, second after a couple of months on. Indeed, like you said, not in for the tag. We know that Claudio's quite aggressive normally. Placing his runner. So yes, I agree with you. Plus, Javian Toledo rides. We don't see Toledo riding that often for Claudio. So I thought that was, a small point to notice as well.
Exactly. About 30% when they hook up, and not a huge sample. But John the Bear, a horse that's shown speed in the past, maybe hasn't shown it. Now into a barn like Claudio's, you see these horses, they get freshened up. I think you're going to see this horse back up on the engine this afternoon.
I think it'd be forwardly placed for sure. They'll be back after this commercial break, but stay with us. Welcome back to Laurel Park. We're on race number 5. Sprinting distance here, 5.5 furlongs for the maiden claimers, 10 to 8,000 for the ladies, the 3-year-olds. And look, I have a price play in here. You don't use her. Okay. I'm still hoping that I'm correct.
Love the. Listen, you want to reach in this race. I kind of chickened out with the 6 on top, but I've got some prices. Let's hear about yours.
Okay, yeah, Kobe's go for trainer Lacey. Go that 10 to 1 morning line here. Jamie Rodriguez takes the ride. That is a rider change. Thais Lipperson has been on board for a while, but I think Jamie Rodriguez can definitely suit this 3-year-old filly. Both times going longer, so significant cutback here. She's shown speed. She was part of a decent pace over the 7 before, as well as over the mile before tiring belatedly. I think this turn back is going to work for her. I think she's going to lay off a little fire. Jamie's going to really lift her home. I think she's interesting and at least possible of getting a placing. And I'm, of course, hoping that she's actually going to jump up and win at a bit of a price.
Exactly. She goes first Lasix. Now these 2-year-olds now turned to 3.
True.
Okay, the Lasix is now going on. A lot of these horses, I think it's going to be a little tricky from a handicapping standpoint for the first couple of months to see, the reactions and, form changes with these horses. It's just going to happen.
Yep.
There's plenty of speed in here. I think Middle Islands is a desperation move, a big jam. Brittany doesn't do this a lot, but she's like 4 for 4 when dropping horses 50% or more. So I think with a little bit better break, the Lasix going, those horses will be able to get that flow up top, a contested pace, and rally into it. Maybe gets over the top. But I like the 4s, a little bit of a price shot here. Miss Seductive by Barbados, newer stallions, only had like 7 runners, a couple winners. Out of a mare that won early, siblings won early, wasn't real comfortable in between horses into the turn last time out, shifted out, and showed a little bit of late life to me when I watched that rerun again. Another one going first place, a big percentage here for Hammy with that angle, 31% in a positive ROI. I just think the breeding suggests early here. I don't like the sharp drop. I'm going to give her a shot, though. Maybe we catch the new year off with a price. And Key Machine, another one to rally into it.
Yeah, Key Machine, another one to use underneath. And then I add the number 12 Downey maybe as well for you, McMahon. But the significant scratch for me also the first of Dixie Diva, because I thought she was interesting in this spot. Like you said, I feel like you can reach for a price or two in here. I know Middle Island is, on stats speaking, Brittany Russell went dropping so far down. You know that she's very effective. But look, she's going to have to get the job done over this much shorter distance than she's run before. So I have her underneath, try and beat her in this spot. Race number 6, claiming 5,000 nominees at 3, a lifetime start of that late pick. 4, 6 furlongs the distance here. And look, both of us are on board with Danny Deep Cuts. Now, he was entered for the claiming 10 level, I thought, yesterday. Comes here instead. Has not placed on the wet yet, but does take quite the steep drop in class.
Yeah, Rudy Rodriguez, years back, ran quite a few horses here. Hasn't much lately. With this kind of move, he's 2 for 10, 7 for 10 in Maryland on this 50% drop over the last 3 years or so. But comes out of an okay race. Little Miss Scarlet, who was in there, came back to run, I think, second, right, the other day here at Laurel, with a good number of 57. She's kind of an off-the-pace type. Danny Deep Cuts, I think it will be aggressively ridden. We'll try to take the field coast to coast. If the 6 goes, she's shown the ability to sit just off of it and move into that kind of flow.
Yeah, I like her. She broke her maiden at Gulfstream Park and then got her second win on board at Charlestown. Look, I think she can kind of just sit off that pace and make that move. And this is her Laurel Park debut. But, she seems well placed in this spot with, with a couple of other horses not lining up, like Adabelle, who we both liked in this spot as well, who won't be lining up. And then both use La Dame underneath as well for trainer Ferris Ellen, who was also actually entered yesterday, but decided to opt to go in this spot. But look, it seems Danny Deep Cuts race to lose. I do think we're not going to get the biggest of price
she's
there.
She's going to be a short price,
Perhaps that's your opportunity to single if you are a believer, if you're not afraid of that, steep drop in here.
Yeah. I mean, gosh, who else can you really depend on? I don't know. I mean, she looks like the most reliable one. I mean, we've seen the barn. They can do these things. Barns have a lot of horses, so it doesn't bother me that huge drop. But yeah, Win Then Grin, I'll throw in kind of a real bomb shot. Couple in the money placings on an off track. Might be able to rally into it. Can just sit back and make a run from well back probably against
I would love to see Win Then Grin kind of return to the form that he showed a bit further ago. Of course, she's been campaigned for a while now, but just lately not been on the top of her game. So I don't really trust her that much in here, but wouldn't mind seeing her return to form. Race number 7, 6 furlongs the distance here. Nickel claimers, open claimers for fillies and mares 4-year-old and up here. And I landed on Calypso Ghost and used the same horse as your top selection. That there is gold underneath. I do feel like they're the ones to key in here. We'll start with your top selection. This is an 8-year-old mare, but she got a nice, comfortable win on board last time out. Over course and distance, she kind of just drove away from the group. I think she's consistent. I think this last win might just give her a little bit of confidence. Shows that she's back in business.
Maybe just enough. Yeah, Calypso Ghost with some trouble last time. She ran a couple really good races in a row. Over the surface, she's quick. She doesn't necessarily need to lead. That there's gold. I think I'm going to hope a little bit that the one goes off form just a touch. She can sit a trip, though, behind the speed, just off the speed, because I think the 2 is going to go ahead and try to force the issue. Either she's got 3 wins on an off track. She's going to have to come back with that kind of a maybe middle 50, higher 50 number if she's going to beat Calypso Ghost.
Yeah, and then both of us also use Blue Sky Venezuela. Look, she she was able to actually sit and then take over last time out for Michael Gorham, which I thought was pretty decent. Now that was at Penn National, but look, she's won plenty of time here at Laurel Park as well, and she's quite a reliable performer on the off-going.
She is. She's going to sit. I don't think she wants to get involved in a battle, and she's got the perfect post position just to kind of spy the leaders, no doubt.
Yeah, I think so as well. Race number 8, we move along to that first level optional claimer for the 3-year-olds. I guess similar ideas what we were talking about earlier, that, you know, now 2-year-olds turned 3-year-olds in here. 5.5 furlongs the distance. Wow. Let's look back at a lot of Hope's Maryland Juvenile Championship race, where he had that kind of dreaded inside post, right? 13 runners, breaks inward as well. Still kind of asked to go forward by the X-Men, but he allows him to glide forward. I thought that was actually, he wasn't riding him too hard. He's allowed to say, hey, you know, we didn't get away that great. Let's secure the position on the rail here. Tries to, you know, get settled behind a hot pace there, but has to wait eventually. We'll get to that in just a second until he can finally make that move.
Yeah, he does. And you like that. Out of the gate, steps in that big field. But he was nudged on, but then X-Man said, all right, let's go ahead and glide up. And he did. I mean, he's kind of only run 2 races, but he looks kind of like a seasoned horse. Like he's had plenty of experience in the mornings and handling traffic. Here we go again, bottled up between horses past the 360.
Where are we going? Looking for a
Can't go anywhere, and ends up down on the worst part of the racetrack. As we noted, December 17th, the 18th, even the 19th, you didn't really want to be right down on the rail. Man, does this guy just keep on going, though. Turns back in distance. Boy, there's some fast horses early in here, but I like the way he's going to be able to get positioned, I think, by the 5/16 pole by mid-turn.
I think so. I think one of the fast horses might just be stablemate Al Love's Josie for trainer Jerry Robb. I think from the outside, he might just try and blister forward. But you also use the number 1, who I use underneath Cozy's Wildcat for trainer Claudio Gonzalez. Of course, first via the claim for Claudio is always very, very strong. Comes in here off the back of that maiden breaking score. Really kind of just took that next sort of level up kind of step in that race. The speed figure came back decent, showed that he's able to wait and then take over, and very comfortable by himself.
It was first time blinkers last time. Now we're going first off the claim for Claudio, back to Lasix back on. I think there's a lot to like. This is a horse that doesn't necessarily need to lead. He can get in position. We'll see. They should be traveling fairly close to each other, I think, around the turn moving. I know Captain Candy got the better of him at Delaware. Captain Candy right back. Really good effort last time on the front, and there's going to be some other pacing here that he's going to have to deal with.
Yeah, that is my worry as well. But he's shown to be able to overtake horses that was on the turf. So I always like seeing that from a horse that they're not. I think Tim Quaint is not a one-trick pony.
Yeah, that's
they can actually sit behind and overtake horses, take maybe a little bit of kickback and not be deterred by it. But this is a good race coming up. I actually feel like there's a couple who can, you know, jump up and put their nose in front as now 3-year-olds. So this is definitely our highlight race of the day for me.
Good race. I like Dosky Wow's run last time. And even Hefner, take a look at Hefner, comes in from Churchill, a claim for $50,000 for Mike Juralis, Joseph Colgate. This owner-trainer combo has done a lot of damage over the years. They've been making some shrewd claims. This might be another one. This is a horse that's going to have to come from off the pace. But, I'm definitely going to use this horse as a little bit of a price in my exactus.
Yeah, well, I was on the radio this morning with Bill Finley, and he said, how clever is Hefner's name? Dam is Chick Chaser.
Oh, there you go.
I thought that was a pretty good point of him. I hadn't noticed it yet myself. So, of course, you always have to smile at these little clever notes here. Final race on the card, claiming 25,000, 7 furlongs the distance here. 4 fillies, a 3-year-old as well. So we do have a couple of, youngsters that recently turned 3-year-olds in here. And you landed on Mama G's Wish for trainer Jerry Robb. Nice win last time out after, she was doing pretty well at some of the Delaware State Company. I remember speaking with Team Robb, and they were saying, look, those races didn't come up that strong. Of course, when you see stakes races, you think they're quite strong. That maiden 25 level was much more appropriate for her, and she duly got the job done.
She got the job done. Got plenty of experience, 10 races under her belt, was very busy as a 2-year-old, but I think that could help her. I love the draw out here. I think off track is okay for her. Lasix back on, will be forward. Looking at the speed in this race, I don't see a lot of true speed. I think the flow is just going to be to her liking. X-Man can maybe spy Sea Pines, try to shake away, trying to maybe get away from that one around the turn. Because I think all things considered, if she wants to go, she can go to the front this 7.
Yeah, I think Sea Pines might just have to sit behind her, but I did like that coast-to-coast winning effort for her last time out. Now turns back to the 7 furlong, but that's absolutely fine. Look, she had indeed the speed. I think maybe Mama's G's was going to be just a bit more aggressively ridden, but of course Sea Pines also first-time Lasix going on. I think we can see a little bit of improvement there. That's what I'm banking on. I used Sweet Talia underneath her. I saw you didn't have her, but look, she was a Penn National runner that allowance level, has been running against winners before. A couple of these haven't. Just trying to see if she can return to some of that form that she showed when breaking her maiden, and just kind of, I like the way she took over. Numbers wise, yes, she'll have to find some, but a bit of a price underneath for horses that kind of, are still taking those, next steps in their career and their development.
I think she's a user, definitely underneath in the exactas. I just didn't get to her in my top 4. Yeah, she beat Mama's Cheese Wish before. And the Lasix goes on again, a little guess for 3. Take nothing away from this horse, too. I mean, is 2 for 2 with the distance. I don't think is as quick as the 7 early, but I know this horse can sit and make a run into it. I'll be using Jerusalem as well. So, yeah, Mama's Cheese Wish is the key for me.
Same for me.
All right.
That concludes the handicapping, but let's move on to fun lightning round.
Okay.
I didn't have you with me yesterday to reflect on the year that was. So I thought let's have a look back at some of the big stories coming out of 2021, including, of course, our Preakness Stakes. Let's have a look at Rombauer for Mike McCarthy, Flavien Prat on board. Still got plenty to do there, but no problem whatsoever. You're looking at Midnight Bourbon giving him a very good fight there. Medina Spirit on the rail, but Rombauer rolling past them.
Just the peak performance for him, it looked like, and he was set up beautifully. I remember my partner, Bill Brasman with Equibase, had commented to Trish Bowman, get this horse to the Preakness. He's going to win it. Bill was right. Yeah, I mean, he was sharp, got a great price on Rombauer. So, yeah, you talked about when you sent me the text, hey, about some good race. When we cash, they're always the best races, so it doesn't really matter where. But Rombauer was a good one.
Yeah, and it was quite wonderful as well for Mike McCarthy for his first ever Preakness winner. Very, emotional victory for him. So we were all happy to see it. Very much liked character in the horse racing industry. Now, for me, one of the highlights was the Black Eyed Susan with Army Rife, Joel Rosario and Mike Maker. And I had loved her all week. So did Acacia, by the way. We were both on board with her. Had to really, really get down and dirty to get past the number 5 there, Lady Traver, and then Willful Woman was coming up in behind too. But Army Wife, now this is probably the funnier story. I'm now engaged to my partner who's in the Army, and before that we weren't. But I was saying, babe, I love this horse. Go and bet her. We ended up getting quite a decent pricing. She was about 9 to 1 or so, but he forgot to bet her.
Oh. How does he forget that?
I did, but
but she ran great. She had a little bit of trouble. She was on the better part of the track, but overcame the adversity, shifted out. That was another one of her best performances today. No doubt, Army White. That was a good one, and we'll talk about my pick.
Your highlight race of the year, Caravel in the very one. That was not an easy race for her at all. The amount of trouble she had to overcome. You can see her right there. Still has nowhere to go.
No, and she had a little trouble into the turn as well. These bigger fields going 5/8 on the grass at Pimlico. You got to have some guts down inside. And what a great ride. This is Giroux, right? Was able to work through the seam. She looked beaten and gets up. What a surge late. She went on to win a couple other races after that. I thought, from an excitement point, we had some really good races that weekend, didn't we? Man.
Oh,
Black Eyed Susan Day Preakness weekend, really great racing. And that one there was a really good effort.
Well, also the backstory with Elizabeth Merriman being the trainer, now co-owner, as well as breeder of Caravel, just, quite terrific for the Maryland breeding industry as well as, for the locals here, the small time owners and trainers, getting a horse like this, producing a horse like this. And then I do believe that Chef Bobby Flay purchased about 75% of her before the Carras, and she ran in his silks. And of course, they went on to the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint there when moved with the Merriman's blessing to trainer Graham Motion. So just, quite a wonderful story. So I liked your pick. That was a good race.
And good race. When you're calling charts and you get a field like that, you kind of get ramped up. And, man, and to see a horse do what she did with the trip that she got to overcome it was really strong. I mean, you love seeing the efforts that the horse, the rider, and the trainer, everybody involved. That was a big effort.
Yeah, got there in the nick of time. And that concludes our morning show. Again, Happy New Year to everyone. We are very much looking forward to what 2022 might bring. And, of course, hope that everyone has a wonderful year as well as a healthy one. Being able to stay safe is, of course, key in these times.
Absolutely. And profitable. That's key for me.
That too.
I'll give up a little health for a little extra money. How about that?
Good luck, everyone. Of course, Dave Rottman will be up next with Scratches and Changes.
All right. Good luck.